we have the last deep dive session, right? It's going to be application development for enterprise. I'll request the speaker to take on the laughter. Okay. What constructs an enterprise application? Ability to communicate via email, call, watch presentations, instant messages, etc. I can also read, update various corporate data. Having access to data required easily from mobile at any time enables better productivity. Are there any security constraints gripping enterprise data being accessed from mobile phones? Enterprise needs power of mobility. Why is it predicted by Gartner saying that in the next 3 years you'll have 70% of mobile workers? Why is a company like IBM and Sybase getting into enterprise mobility? So many questions here, and thus we have Gurpreet, the technical product manager at M-Portal, shares his needs and sharing the need and the richness of the possibilities of enterprise mobility. Gurpreet has around 9 years of experience in mobile applications and platforms, right from design and development of applications to QA activities. Prior to joining M-Portal as a product manager, Gurpreet, who is electronical engineer, was working at Mobisys as a co-founder and also worked with companies like Sony Ericsson, Panasonic, and Wipro. Handing over to Gurpreet.
Short time, so I have many slides to show, so maybe it will take care of that. But yeah, so I'm working in M-Portal right now as a technical product manager, and a small advertisement. So in M-Portal we work on idle string solution, widget development, we work on app stores, we work on all kind of platforms in mobile devices. So that's the background where I come from. So you know, when Chintan asked me, basically you have to give a talk on something on enterprise, I said, wow, what a boring thing. Enterprise applications, it's a little boring. So I think so. Okay, let's go to index first, then you will understand what my concern is about enterprise applications. So here I am going to talk about what are the enterprise applications, why today we are talking about the enterprise applications, what are the different types, handle platforms, how to mobilize, concerns, case studies, all that stuff. So when I came to know that I have to deal with enterprise applications in this conference, this was the whole point. If you read this, there are many jargons. So it's high performance, fortified to stack vendors, DNA, maintainable, extendable, everything. So it's saying enterprise applications like impossible thing to do. What I'm trying to research, something I taken from Amit Khan in 3 years, like simplify things. Just for a layman, what is the enterprise application? This is what I understand. Anything, any application sitting, so I'm talking about mobile enterprise applications because it's a mobile conference. So anything which sits on my mobile phone, it's a web application, a client web mashup, anything which helps me access and process my workplace data. It's a mobile. For me, it's an enterprise application. It's not only access, but also the context in which I access data, the time at which. So it can be traveling, it can be from home, it can be anywhere, even in bathroom if you want. So it's that kind of application I'm going to talk about today, enterprise applications. So advantage is what enterprise applications feel. They are making people more productive. I'll come to that with some case studies how it happens. It is the processes will be more intelligent if you use enterprise applications, and then customers more satisfied. So if you see today the user modes in the mobile enterprise, if you read the 3 columns there, the tele-networking, campus and roaming, they basically talk about enterprise applications. But today I'm going to take the mobile part. This is basically specially enterprise application designed for the mobile world, the users of the mobile. If you have any questions, you can ask me right away. So I have a lot of time today, so I think so. So this is the section what I am going to target today. What I think about enterprise applications on a mobile device. So the ones working on cellular network or Wi-Fi hotspots on different mobile phones. So now, how do we work today? These are different ways. Some surveys were held last 3-4 years, talking to people. How do we work realistically in today's corporate environment? There's nobody who says I go to office every day and work from there, sitting 9 to 5. Right now it's more dynamic. So if you have to work more productive, it's like you see 9% of the employees, they work at headquarters. Everyone else, the rest 91, they are a little bit dynamic. They are like traveling or working from home. So if you see more than 66% of workers are basically using mobile and wireless services. That's the reason we are talking about enterprise applications today. Now some more surveys here. So IPAS, they found that people prefer smartphones over laptops, especially the guys who are in management, who only keep on checking emails, sending emails. For them, the smartphone is a much better option than to open their laptop and then reply to emails. Then a career builder survey, they find that 54% of workers, they carry smartphones, they keep on checking while driving. I know it's an offense, but yeah, they do that. Then there is 80% of small businesses, they believe that it's critical to their success. And finally, the last 2 points, they will basically go the developers, Google and Android. Google is going to launch a marketplace. I think so basically it's for the Google Apps users who will be getting this app store where other people can advertise their apps or they can put in their apps. So Google basically is the biggest believer in the enterprise applications. That's why I will come to why Android is designed in a way that it favors enterprise application development a lot. Now, this is a survey done by Gartner saying that in 2010 there are some 8 mobile technologies. This is basically a slide for developers who want to, for entrepreneurs who want to enter in device in the mobile market and they don't know what to do. So these are some of the technologies which people, they are assuming will be the best selling or the best selling products on these technologies will be there in 2010. And if you see, mobile enterprise is right there, the 5th one. So and combined with that, the data usage, if you move like in 2005, 2006, there were like so many constraints on different devices. There was virtually no data access. If you talk to Airtel, they were only going after rural areas, getting more subscribers. There were no talk about 3G or 3.5G, 4G, LTE, nothing was there. Right now it's all changing with all these new technologies, NFC, 3G. So when we talk about enterprise applications, it's all about connectivity. Enterprise application means I'm connecting to some corporate server and that needs some kind of a very scalable, very good, quick connectivity. And these are the technologies which we are getting right now on the mobile devices. The last one is the advanced mobile browsers, which is basically the browsers that you see right now, Nokia, Android, iPhone, they all use WebKit-based browsers, which are quite powerful. And in future we might have some versions of browsers supporting HTML5, which will also give us a kind of a space to make applications, web-only applications on mobile devices, powerful. So let's give an application about a downloadable application. So in enterprise, I will come to a point where I say, okay, which one is better and how. So right now, it's about the type of enterprise apps. So I hope I have not confused you a lot with the actual definition and my definition. So these are basically different types of enterprise apps. If you see business apps, it's a normal CRM app. Something like I'm a pharmaceutical company guy, or I'm a human resource guy, I'm checking something on my mobile, that kind of apps which basically connect remotely to my corporate server. Supply chain management app, I have a mobile phone with some kind of RFID reader, I can have this kind of app on my mobile phone. Then the other two, the last two are the most common ones, which normally everyone uses right now. They are the unified communication apps, all the IP handling, instant messaging, voice, other kind of presence. For these kind of apps, there are many apps already available. And if you go to iPhone App Store, Nokia, you will see it's full of these kind of apps. You see Microsoft giving the app, Google Apps is another platform. Then iPhone also entering this area, Android is also there. So these are the two areas which right now is full. Now I have categorized these enterprise apps in two segments. One is the vertical applications and one the horizontal applications. These kind of applications are mostly tailor-made for each enterprise. It's not like a Microsoft Office or Microsoft Outlook kind of application which you can integrate with your own backend and start using. These are some applications which are normally tailor-made because different companies, they have different backends, and they are mostly those kind of applications which are very difficult to make in enterprise and which are very few right now. If you go around and see, you won't find many applications on mobile devices. Maybe they are on desktops, on browsers, they are giving access to outside world, but on mobile devices you won't find many. And these are the horizontal applications. They talk about communication, ERP, CRM, sales for automation, which are little standardized. The communication, if you see MS Mobile, so these are all, everyone knows that, Google Apps on desktop, Google Apps on mobile. So they give each and every application which you can use on desktop, they give on mobile. So that same application I can use if I'm in a company like Portal, and it doesn't matter my backend is Google Apps or maybe some other Microsoft Exchange, I can still use my Google App application. and I can connect to that and check mails from my home. And similarly, there are RIM, BlackBerry Connect. Most of the managers here, they must be using RIM. So that these are the applications which are already flooded in market. The communications, the presence, IP calls. Trinity is again one company working on IP calls, and there are many other companies working on these kind of areas.
You said IBM WebSphere. What are they doing here?
Frankly speaking, I got this from internet, even I don't know.
No, because I don't know. I am from IBM and I don't know. It's not there.
I think, yeah.
It's basically used as a platform on the service side.
So what I know is that, so from wherever I got this slide, what I know is that these kind of applications are either mobilized already or they are very readily mobilizable kind of applications. So there are many kind of enterprise applications working on laptop, desktops, and mobile devices. So these are the ones which have either a mobile web version or mobile client. Now, who are the enablers and the drivers in this space? The first is very common, you all know, RIM. If I talk about enterprise, everybody say, okay, I talk to my IT department, I need a phone for checking my emails, you say, I will give you BlackBerry. So basically that's the RIM. I will come to, like, it's not technology-wise, it's the most preferred enterprise platform. It is maybe because of the way they market or the way they enter the market. So second one is Nokia. Now they also are in this business. If you see some, so many phones are around, especially in India, all the Indian phones. But if you talk to any guy, if he knows about any enterprise application, he will say, oh, Nokia, no, there are no enterprise applications. Yeah, I know there are some E-series phones and there are some M-series phones which might support some enterprise applications, but yeah, it's not as good as BlackBerry. But I will come to exactly why people say like that. Then we have Microsoft. So Microsoft is a very common name. We have all these Outlooks and Offices and all this kind of fancy enterprise applications from Microsoft. Then comes SAP, Salesforce. So this is basically on the enterprise server side, but they do also have some applications in this area which are a generic one which we can tailor according to our requirements. And then Android. Now why I have put Android? Open Handset Alliance is that if you have worked on Android, you will see that Android is not only about a device. So the difference as a developer, if I work on a Symbian phone or I work on a BlackBerry phone and then I go to Android, I will see that Android, they give me a mashup. They give me device APIs, they give me server APIs. I as a developer, I simply have to just mash up. I have everything. Server API is also there. In Nokia, it's very hard to find server APIs. But in Android, yeah, you need locations, yeah, it's a server API. You can mash up with your client code. That's the basic approach. If you see Google Vice President always saying that mobile enterprise is the future, the Android platform basically is designed for that kind of stuff. So they have and enterprise applications are always native plus web. So that's the reason. So they have put that design in the platform itself. That is why right now I won't comment whether they will be successful, how much will they be successful with different versions coming out of Android every 3 months or so. But yeah, it is all there. So it can move up at least maybe in 2013. And then IBM. Again, I got that from internet. Okay.
I don't know. So IBM is there, not as of now. In the next 6 months, yeah.
Yes, the reason why I put IBM is because I read a blog saying that IBM is putting a lot of money right now for enterprise
But as of
applications.
now, we don't have anything.
Yes, but I hope that yeah, you will support them. This is an interesting slide. If you see the enterprise handheld platforms and you see BlackBerry on the top, but it contradicts with the number of handsets which are in the market in which Symbian is on top. But again, the same thing, if you go to your IT person in your company and you ask for a mobile for any application, he will normally come and say, okay, I have a BlackBerry. They are very comfortable with BlackBerry. That's the reason basically, if you see low percentage of BlackBerry phones, but high number of enterprise applications or enterprise users is there in BlackBerry. But the same is not true for Symbian, or same is not true for Windows CE or Linux. Android just entered the market, and iPhone also is like in US. No, it's there, yeah. Apple iPhone, third one. So in US, yeah, iPhone basically it's in US they use. So these figures are like 2008 figures, but I think only things which change right now is BlackBerry will be something around 55, iPhone will be something around 25, and then Android will be more than 2%. Android will be something around 4 to 5%. So that's the only change, but the overall picture remains the same today. Right now, BlackBerry is the leader in enterprise applications.
And what do you predict the end of the year to be? Like
It will be same. Only thing is the Android might come up slowly, and people predict that by 2013. So I'll come to this interesting fact from this figure. Symbian more solid platform, but again the enterprise usage is not there. In India, there is a developer sitting here. Normally I was also, when I was in Mobizy, I was working with all Indian companies. That time also, whenever I wanted to build an application, it was for Indian users, and that is all Symbian, Nokia, or J2ME applications. But if you see, as an enterprise application development environment, what Nokia gives, it's not, it's like number of phones are there, but it's not there for enterprise applications. But I contradict. You are able to make a good enterprise application on Nokia phone, but just because BlackBerry is there, it's sitting here on each and every IT manager, and it's little easy also on the IT management side that they feel BlackBerry is better. And then, so regarding your question, which out of all those things which I showed, which one will go up? I am betting on Android. It might go up as a part because the design of the platform is such that you will be able to make good enterprise applications. So what will happen is that maybe not in 1 year or 2 years, but in 3 years, yes, Android I see that it might go up something around between Windows Mobile and Apple iPhone, or something between Apple iPhone and WinCE. But again, a big but. Whether people will use, so the future will be like Nokia, or whether really people will use. So from platform side, you will get everything. You will get all the fancy APIs you want to build an enterprise application. But whether our IT managers will remove that block of BlackBerry and start using Android phones and as your IT normal corporate phones, that is something to be seen. So, but from platform, from developer perspective, I know that Android will be there. They will be having very good APIs, very good design for enabling enterprise applications.
Why did you put in the previous slide? Why did you put Windows CE there? Because they are one of the first in the enterprise market.
Yes, this is the usage basically. So it's not. So that's what I'm saying. It is this is a contradictory in the sense that Windows CE maybe is the best platform for enterprise. It's the best platform, but this is how your IT department officially support and manage. So this talks about.
We are talking about enterprise, applications where you might have applications like data, like say warehouse management or logistics, transportation, or whatever. The older applications are all on Windows CE.
Yes.
I mean, they were not at all using BlackBerry.
Yes.
So don't you think like they can come up with it? Like, do you think that the Windows CE platform could be?
It's there for so long, so it didn't happen last 10 years. So.
No, but still the courier guy uses the same device.
Yes,
but I don't think he uses BlackBerry.
Yeah, tomorrow he can go and buy a 3,000 rupees Android device and maybe he will use the same service.
Android is not 3,000 right now.
It will be. It will be, right?
That's what it predicts.
Actually, the device was Windows platform is right now is under the client because of Microsoft is rewriting of its whole platform. And the percentage wise it is reducing because BlackBerry share the motion is increasing significantly. And Android definitely, as the recent report which I have read, is going to be somewhere around 12% and falling to 3% from iPhone.
Yes. So I don't know what will happen, but yeah, I have put my money on Android a little bit more than Windows CE. But right now, yeah, I am very bullish on BlackBerry, a little bit less bullish on Nokia. But yes, BlackBerry and Android are the ones to look after.
And to add on, Sybase has come up with, has tied up with iPhone, to get into enterprise mobile. So that could be a tough competition.
Yes, you had a question?
Yeah, I have a reason to contradict. You say when you talk about enterprise, and you have covered segment like CRM and things like that. So when you actually do support such sort of solutions, you have shown BlackBerry as a leader, right? But BlackBerry as a leader, but enterprise covers a lot of things. Even if you provide new services, then that is also covered as part of enterprise. In that way, I agree that BlackBerry is leader. But when you come to lower end markets, right, you want to support your sales goals, you want to support your blue collar worker, things like that. In that regard, you see, I don't think BlackBerry, as per my experience, BlackBerry is way behind. This normal idle tools in US or things like that, they actually are ahead than BlackBerry.
You you are right. So, but you know, when enterprise, so when I talk about enterprise applications, it combines all four, which is the emailing solutions and as well as your CL. So I will come to that. I have a slide for that, which basically will interest you because yeah, that talk about what is not there. Right now, what is there? So BlackBerry is the leader because it has a very good email solution. That's the only reason you are here. Yes. Otherwise, if you what I know is that apart from these, the Google has come up with their own applications supporting all devices, not only BlackBerry. And then there is iPhone. So if you work on a Google Apps, not application, but even on a web browser on iPhone, Safari browser, it's also a very good application. But that slide gave a sense of what is the position right now overall. But yes, CRM applications, ERP applications. First of all, you don't find those applications. I couldn't find many applications. There are, but yeah, there is the scope. I'll come to that, especially for the audience here. Like what is already there and where the scope is, where the potential is. During the end of my presentation.
What are the statistics for US or worldwide?
Yeah.
This is for US. I think. US and.
I mean, it clearly shows that it's US only. It's definitely not worldwide.
It's not. It's US and maybe UK. That's all. In India, like I think we have just started. I think by 2013 we'll having surveys in India also doing the same thing. I think then we'll see that Nokia going a little above because so that's where the gap is. I will come to that where the gap in India is. So here I have some examples of how to mobilize your enterprise app. So it's like there are three kinds of ways to develop an app. One is like Sonar. If you know about the Sonar application, what it does is like a VNC app. You from your mobile device, you are able to connect to your desktop, which is sitting in your office, and you are able to view everything. You are able to view emails, you are able to reply, you are able to view documents, review documents through your phone, through a VNC application. That's also an enterprise application. Then there are local applications. So today morning we talked about some thick client applications, like downloadable applications. So these are those kind of applications. The example is Google Apps Client. So if I am working in a small company and I have a backend as Google Apps, I can still use my existing Nokia phone and download this Google app and configure it according to my backend, and I start using that as an application, as an enterprise application for myself. And then there are web services. So I have given example Google Apps, but here the thing what you are saying, especially the ERP side, and those kind of applications are mostly web kind of applications where you only need a form kind of stuff. You are entering something, you are on a field, you are getting some feedback, you are getting some requirements. I am an Airtel engineer, I am sitting on the top of the tower, I want to record something from there, and it is like a normal form kind of applications which are usually developed in web services. Now there are some basically problems in all these different approaches. The first one for remote, if you see the problem is how to map a big desktop to a small. If you see a Sonar application, they have done it in a very nice way. Very nice way. So if you use that application, it will like, it's like it doesn't look like a VNC application, it's pretty fast. The way they do it, they don't directly connect to your desktop. They put all your data somewhere on the server and they connect to that. So even your desktop is off, you are still able to see all the crucial data which is sitting somewhere on the server. So I would like you to have a look at this application. If you are basically won't travel too much that you want to just have a look at your document sitting on your PC which is off. Then the local applications, again here how much data can be cached, how can mobile handle this, enterprise data means lots of data. These kind of problems will be there developing these kind of apps. Then web services. This is a good approach, very scalable, but nothing to cache. Again, browser incompatibility. It works on my Symbian phone browser, but doesn't work on my Sony Ericsson browser. These kind of stuff might come in. HTML5. Right now it is not there, but if it comes in, it may solve some kind of problems like this. So now I'm coming to the case studies, which basically here how much data can be cached, how can mobile handle this, enterprise data means lots of data. These kind of problems will be there developing these kind of apps. Then web services. This is a good approach, very scalable, but nothing to cache. Again, browser incompatibility. It works on my Symbian phone browser, but doesn't work on my Sony Ericsson browser. These kind of stuff might come in. HTML5. Right now it is not there, but if it comes in, it may solve some kind of problems like this. So now I'm coming to the case studies, which basically so this slide doesn't come from my search on Google. It comes right from what I have experienced in last 5 years, the way that if people ask me, so as a mobile developer, if I go for a client meeting, people ask me, can you build for me this kind of application? So these are some of the case studies which I really came across last 4-5 years, especially in Bangalore, in India. People are looking for these kind of applications. Something like a pharma company have a sales team, they are going to doctors have a strict schedule, so they have to be on time. Some application which basically will enable them to record whatever transaction they are having, the doctors, the requirements, the scheduling, the alarms and all that stuff into one. It doesn't write everything on paper, come back at night or in a cyber cafe and then upload everything, all the data. So these kind of applications, again, supply chain management application. People, so if you see, my uncle is having a company, it's a pharmaceutical company in my hometown, Chandigarh. So he keeps on saying that there are many boxes going out, coming in. They have low-skilled workers there who take note of things and they may make huge mistakes. And even it's like directly linked to the productivity of the company. You are getting 10 boxes out, anything misses out, it's like bad thing, especially on the small companies. So he wants some kind of application because all the boxes are some numbers, some code. He wants some simple application he can simply do it updates on the database, nothing else. So you know for sure, so there is no paper and pencil thing. It's fully and he doesn't know read and write. They need some application. He just takes mobile as a tool. So if you have seen Abhishek Bachchan ads right now for idea, so these are basically these kind of small companies which ask for these kind of applications, which are also enterprise applications. It's not like very hi-fi, fancy application which will be talking to your very good. I will come to a slide which will give you a complexity of an enterprise application, but these are also small applications which the small companies here in Bangalore or the entrepreneurs or the independent mobile developers, they can target because they don't need such complexity as a big company enterprise application needs that. Again, a very simple example. We went to a company which was into travel and logistic management. They want a kind of a solution that they have linked up with all travel agents. They say people are all around in India, and whenever you go to our website, people give a query, I want to go to Goa for a week. Then what happens is that query is circulated, and a travel agent has to go to cyber cafe to find out what is there and to react whether I would accept that query or I reject that. So that is a very, very cumbersome way of handling these kind of scenarios. They want simple application which basically sits on mobile device, and on the back end, if you put something, it simply gives SMS interacts with your mobile phone. You see, yeah, the query is posted, press yes if you are going to handle it, no if you are not going to handle it. It gives more independence to the travel agents. They don't miss because sometimes what happens is they can't go to a cyber cafe. These kind of small things are there which we can basically put in our effort and create this kind of application for these kind of small companies. These for me are also enterprise applications. It's not only targeting very high-fi full Pandu applications, but yeah.
So one question about the previously
in this first case study which you talked about, the pharma company employee going to see a doctor or pharmacist and taking the order and all. Typically, I mean, a medical rep when he goes to meet a doctor, he gets, ranging from anywhere from 1 minute, after waiting for about 2 hours, he gets 1 minute to 5 minutes of slot to see the doctor. If he goes with a gift, he gets 10 minutes. So in that, he needs to take orders. He needs to, appraise the doctor about the medicines, whatever the launches, schemes, and all that. Given all that, do you really suppose the enterprise apps are today at a level, and the devices, the usability of the devices are at a level where paper and pen can be replaced by? I mean, honestly, I've seen some TV ads where, an actor is typing in so fast, searching the books on thermodynamics. I think it's just sheer magic. You cannot type so fast. I mean, yeah, probably if you've got SMS fingers, you can type somewhat fast, but not as fast as it really shows. So are these kind of applications really limited to ideation stage? Are these really being deployed anywhere? Are these really being used anywhere?
Okay, so this application, the first one, it's being used. So there was a case study done by Microsoft only. So basically, so this application was done by, I think, TCS sometime in 2007 or 2008 on the Windows mobile platform. Okay, so it was given to some 2,000 sales representatives to use this kind of application, very simple application, just a form. Okay, so the comments what doctor gave, what he needs, and whatever happened in that meeting, and with the kind of a alarm system where you get a kind of alarm half an hour before a meeting with a doctor. This is already there. The applications which are below, I don't think they are there yet. So
but what is the adoption? Application could be there, that's a separate thing. Technology could be there. What is the adoption of the technology? Do you have any?
I think the adoption. So right now, I tell you my real experience with the third one, a travel agent thing. Okay, so adoption. The problem was this was the requirement. Okay, the problem was that the company didn't want to give expensive Blackberries or expensive Windows mobile phone to their travel agents. They don't have that kind of tight income. They are like people who have some Nokia phones, 3000 phone, and they want their application to work on that phone. Okay, so there is a challenge. If we as a technology providers are able to make certain applications for that kind of people, and then in enterprise applications, downloading an application, these kind of things are not a drawback, because you sideload application. So I am a company, people come to me, I sideload application. There is no, I can't say that I am not building application because people don't download. In enterprise, it's my employees who will download, I will make them download the application. So that thing goes away. But only thing is that in India, small applications, small platforms, if we are able to do that kind of magic, here we were asked to do applications right from iPhone to a 3000 Nokia phone in K2ME. So if we can do that, yes, people will use it. But if we can't do that, we say, okay, we are only going to provide enterprise applications on BlackBerry device, and you give your BlackBerry phone to all your travel agents. Never going to fly.
Hi, small question on NFC based. Can you list out any NFC based applications which are currently being used?
I don't. Right now it's in study. I think it's not. And there is no, especially in India, there is no such application which I know which is being used.
Because there is only one device from Nokia. It's currently being used.
Actually, it is being tested with Citibank in Bangalore, where Citibank has given that particular Nokia, but they have stopped that operation. That was some trial there. Pilot.
But in Japan, it's very much used.
In Japan, it is kind of.
Docomo has at least 18 platforms which are in
If you talk about Japan, it's like it's like what I am talking is all basically. If I talk about Japan, Docomo is already there sitting. So everything is there already. All the RFD applications, going to toll bridge, doing this, everything is there already in Japan. Yes.
How effective has voice to text been used for such things? Now, let's say, for instance, the first case study. He did really point out, we have just 5 to 10 minutes and he can't really take an entire order within that amount of time. He probably could have used a voice to text based system wherein he can record whatever the doctor is saying, and that probably would be verbatim, maybe not on the database, but verbatim be on the text, which could later be, would be back office to a data in this one. So how efficiently is sound to text being used in terms of enterprise applications as of today?
Yes, so I have seen that this sound to text or maybe a sound recognition techniques working on impact tones, where I sing a song and then get a song, or they are working on Google search, new application from Google search. It works very nicely. If you simply talk and then it fetches, it's very correct also. But yes, we can use that, but I don't know what will be the effectiveness, whether it will be very effective, because if we still with the technology, this voice recognition technology should be robust. It should be like, especially for people who are in India, they are like multilingual, especially in these kind of travel agents. In Karnataka, they will be different. In Punjab, they will be speaking totally different. Okay, so that kind of thing may hamper, especially these kind of technologies in India. But yes.
But in terms of pharma company, most of the doctors and this one, because they talk a lot of
like multilingual, especially in these kind of travel agents. In Karnataka, they will be different. In Punjab, they will be speaking totally different. Okay, so that kind of thing may hamper, especially these kind of technologies in India. But yes.
But in terms of pharma company, most of the doctors and this one, because they talk a lot of technical terms, they probably will be using English as the default language. In most cases.
No, it doesn't happen like that. It doesn't happen like that. So I have been to some meetings with my uncle, to some of the doctors, with some sales agents. Don't talk English. Don't know. So this is the basic problem here.
So I have just one comment. I think one of the things we have to realize is the point you brought up about speed and things like that. I think what we will see in this generation and the first generation of these applications will be really limited data entry and mostly sort of options which are in the UI elements as opposed to textual data entry, and those can be done pretty fast. I think some of the other things that one has to do will be a lot of sort of caching techniques and things like that, because you can't expect a round trip every single time because of the data network capabilities.
There is one more thing to add to that. More about designing your workflow. Say how well you design your workflow so that you have to type minimum and your work is done. Because as a business provider, you know what exactly your user, actually representative or your employee is going to do. So if you design your workflow intelligently, it's all done.
I mean, which is the reason I think in the morning session when Atul was showing the Wikipedia device, right? I mean, it's not even a connected device for that matter. And it's probably not a programmable device, but if you had that as a programmable device, which is not even connected to the net or has an off-and-on connection, I think it makes perfect sense to use it. The form factor could be slightly larger, and that's where probably, I think you have put your money in the right place that way. Android can take care of something.
Yes, maybe. Yes.
I don't know if you're planning to cover this, but what kind of business models you are seeing for some of these apps?
Okay, so I think I don't know whether I'll cover that, but yeah, towards the end of my slide I have something like what enterprise expect. Okay, so business model mostly for enterprise applications is software as a service, normally for enterprise applications. So I'll come to that in last parts of the slide, but normally I'm telling right now that it's mostly software as a service. It doesn't sell as an app. Enterprise applications, they never sell as an app.
I wish to point out one emerging thing in the enterprise mobile applications called mobile resource management, MRM it's called. And we are working with actually at least 5 of the companies. Like basically they are JPMB and GPRS based applications, and some of them to mention are SORA, XORA, and then ACSOFT, ACP, and Agilis, AGI, LIS, and then what is that? Mobibus. So there are a lot of these kind of applications, and as the gentleman said, like basically they have a configurable workflow and pretty configurable system, and so it is used for things like field workers. So they have a very simple UI like clock in, clock out, taking a break, and then task sending from the dispatch center to there. So everything like pretty configurable and unified applications. So this is a pretty evolving field like mobile resource management, MRM applications. And that, I guess, is going to be one of the next great enterprise mobile applications.
So what's the name? Workforce, I think we've covered the workforce management.
Yeah, workforce management is a part of it. It includes workforce management.
Basically, you're talking about the mobile management, right?
Yeah, mobile. So basically, like they sort of combine everything. Like you have a camera, you can take snapshots and send it to the dispatch center, send some voice snippets, and then the dispatch center can monitor. The GPS integration is there. They can monitor on the map where each person is, and then they, on a single click from the server, they can send tasks to individuals. Like so, a lot of the courier delivery companies. And so, for example, suppose someone is already in the field, and some customer wants to pick up a courier from somewhere near where he is. They can see on the map where the different guys are, and the nearest guy, they can just, on one click from the server, they can just send a message saying like pick up from this place. And once the address goes there, on the mobile also, it is integrated with the map software on the mobile device. So it says this is the place where you have to go and pick up next. So it's a pretty sophisticated applications are already there. You can look up these terms.
Only challenge here is that they work on the sophisticated phone, so That is basically the challenge faced in India, that people don't want to give, especially for these kind of workers who are like field workers, the courier guys, or the medical guys who go out, field workers. They don't want to give these kind of sophisticated phones which can handle these kind of applications.
Minimum is basically like Java and GPRS.
Yes.
That's the minimum expectation here.
Actually, for that matter, there's a very, very native implementation of the same. If you see, Meru Cabs now accepts cards, credit cards for payment. It not only accepts credit cards for payment in terms of this one, they're also they are GPS tracked and they get the alerts right in time. If they take up the alert, they can basically go and service some time. So I think beyond just the taking up now, because of money transactions are coming, I'm pretty sure there is an what do you call that, MRM application already running there. So it's a very local. Yes.
Well, one more example is Bangalore traffic police. If anyone like me has got challan for overspeeding, yes, it's BlackBerry phone, you get a receipt there itself. They are also using the same thing. Yeah. So these kind of applications are there, yes. But again, Bangalore police, I think I don't forward the name of the company. It's a local company who provides them the backend and all the solution. But yeah, they also have a drawback that they have to use the BlackBerry phone. So they have to.
You are telling that we have a drawback of using BlackBerry because see, our company is developing applications for enterprises. Like almost 6 enterprises. I'm personally looking now. They're using BlackBerry, and we have got good deals from Vodafone, India itself, where 8300 kind of a device, they have given it for only 7,000. So I mean, why we have to worry why he's carrying? I mean, why Salesforce is carrying BlackBerry?
No, I'm worried about development.
For enterprises, I mean, you have to also see the size of the enterprise.
No, enterprise size. No, but
so why I'm worried is that whatever. So when we talk about the opportunities in India, there are small companies who don't want to give these kind of mobile phones. So as a developer, I have to develop on all different kind of mobile phones which are already with the workers. So that's the only drawback I'm saying. So how much time I have? I just want to any enterprise application on a mobile device, because you see when this thing was evolving, starting from 1990s and then 2000 and right now 2010s, enterprise applications was a strict corporate affair, only in the premises. Then what happened was that it moved a little bit out, that okay, they gave a web-based interface, you can do something out of that corporate premises. But then if it comes to mobile device, the problem is again, everyone says the mobile device is a constrained device. We can't support everything what enterprise backend gives. So this is a 3-tier approach normally used for enterprise application. No matter it's small, no matter it's very big, even a small application which is talking to a travel company for their travel agents, they also will somehow need a small middleware in between the enterprise backend and the actual mobile application. So normally this is a 3-tier approach. The mobile middleware, the function of this mobile middleware, so this you already know what is there at the backend, already different kind of backend, different corporate support. But the mobile middleware takes care of making sure that mobile understands the performance is good, it's optimized. So instead of doing XML conversation with my enterprise, I use WBXML or kind of proprietary which basically converts backend to what my mobile understands. And similarly, when we do talk about mobile, it's more about device management also. So I am a user, you are a user, my company wants to give these 2 services to me and only one to you because you are lower level. So that's the reason this kind of a middleware the middleware has to be there for enterprise applications. It's not only developing something for a mobile. Now very big question, normally people ask, should I make a downloadable should I make a web-based thin client application with advanced browser versions, or should I make a thick client application? So today Lalit was very bullish in the morning about the downloadable mobile applications. I know right now it's only 1%, 2%, but yeah, we are bullish on that. But for enterprise applications, my answer would be depends, because I know when half of the guys will be believing in that and half, and after the presentation will come against me. So I am saying politically correct answer is it depends. So why I am saying that, I have a lot of reasons because if you see the enterprise applications are not like a Facebook application, they are not like Twitter based applications. There is no young tech savvy crowd using that. It's more about if you go to your company or you go to your IT. Very good example is if I give application to my father. Okay, so a middle-aged guy will see, okay, yeah, I don't need this kind of jazzy things, something simple, which basically is what enterprise applications are all about. So if you see a usability of the native application versus scalability of the web-based application, that is always there. Usability, native applications is more useful. I have a phone, I'm more used to see the contacts of my phone. Even if I change a phone, it takes me some time to understand what the menu structure and stuff like that. If I go to web and have different applications, totally a different thing altogether for these kind of guys, especially the field workers. It's like a different thing. But yes, if you go to a native segment, yeah, then the other columns are there. There is which I was talking about. Why I say BlackBerry is a drawback, because yeah, if I want to support all the phones, it's fragmentation. A genuine mobile development problems are there even for enterprise. So enterprise applications are nothing but a subset of mobile applications. So the rule applies. We have lots of phones, lots of fragmentations. And so I'm hoping this HTML5 browser, when they come in picture, maybe right now it's like coming to desktop, sometime in the next 3 years they might also come to mobile phones. They may solve these kind of problems. Then there are some widget platforms like Nokia WRT which support a mashup. Then Android is there. They can be used in future for these kind of applications. So that's why my answer is depends on requirement, depends on what kind of phones you want to support. This big question can be answered.
One quick question here. Have you seen in your interactions in India with the various clients any kind of interest in very primitive technology that is SIM toolkit based application? Because in Europe at one point in time they were like with the low-end handsets pretty much, or about 5 to 6 years back, they were pretty much the only kind of applications which were possible to be delivered as an add-on application. So have you seen anything like that?
I have seen that in US also. Right now, so right now we are talking in US with some customers who really want SIM toolkit applications, but they are not enterprise applications. So they want SIM toolkit applications for sure, but the only problem with SIM toolkit application is that the primitive SIM toolkit what we are talking about is, I would say bluntly, is useless. If you go to a smart cards thing like right now Java cards are there, that require a change of a SIM and a much better SIM, which again is a deterrent to this kind of applications. But if you are going for a relationship with a carrier through a new OEM, new handset devices, yes, there is a lot of opportunity there, but not sure for enterprise applications. But for other applications, yes, for sure there is.
But if you have like an application which is reusable across different enterprises, right? It could be anything.
Yes.
And the operator is supportive of this particular, I mean, they believe in your story. It should be a fairly viable option, even for enterprise applications. What do you think?
Yes, it will be. Yeah, it should be. So SIM toolkit, as per I have worked in SIM toolkit. Yeah, it's a good technology. Doesn't use, it's like carrier controlled. You have a SIM card on your phone. You can load whatever you want. A carrier controlled. So normally what carriers normally like. So in M4 we do work with carriers, and they normally are very bullish about SIM toolkit application because SIM is there. Okay, so they want everything onto SIM. Even they want to put my Google apps on the SIM. I don't want to trust Google. Put everything on the SIM. They are very bullish about the SIM toolkit application. But yeah, I have never come across any enterprise application in that segment. Maybe it is a technology-wise, yes, it can, but practical, I don't know. So what does the enterprise expect? So this is what I have learned through years of. So I started my career as a QA guy, then moved to development, then finally a product management. What I found when I was like young, in my younger age, whenever I used to go to meetings, people say, oh, I want to build this kind of application. I used to start thinking about, oh, how can I write that in C++? That was the thing I was writing. I want to deliver application to my customer. That is the biggest mistake what we do. Normally, so people should think about solutions, end-to-end solutions. It's not about developing a single application and giving it to the enterprise. When we talk about enterprises, no matter how much small they are, they always believe in end-to-end solution. It is what I mean by end-to-end solution is my mobile application should be scalable, should be portable across handsets, should be dynamic. Dynamic in the sense that tomorrow, okay, I found, because these enterprise applications are very much related to the productivity of a company. So profit loss can be decided, some factor can be decided on the enterprise application segment. So how dynamic my application is. I find a problem in my application, how quickly I can upgrade. Then there is something called support. I have to give. This normally people always forget. If you go and pitch for your enterprise application without an annual maintenance contract, most of the time you are going to get failed. That won't happen. You need enterprise application, you need AMC along with that. You can't work without that. Now coming to the last part, I have 3 slides for these concerns and issues. So you may think that I am also not very bullish on enterprise applications, but I will show you some light at the end of the tunnel later on. But yes, enterprise applications, there are concerns, scale security. You talk to any guy in enterprise in business, he will simply first question how secure is your application. He doesn't know anything about security, but first question is how secure is your application. That is the first question he will ask. So you have to give some stories around. This is that I have implemented this algorithm, that algorithm. But base funda is enterprise application means it should be secure. And that is the biggest problem we normally face, how to convince guys. It's not a technical problem, it's mostly convincing the guys that our application is also as secure as a normal browser using HTTPS. So this is one. Connectivity is another problem, which basically anything enterprise means connected to my server. Deployment, it's not like single application download. It can be like a middleware is also there. There is a device management which plays a big part. With what services I assign to which guy, which device, what times, all these things comes in the enterprise. It's not like a regular mobile application development. Too complex and very hard. Enterprise, there are many variables, there are many interfaces. Everyone is talking in a different language. You are talking in Java to a C++ guy, in C++ to an Android guy. These kind of things happen in enterprises. So this is very complex. If you see, their backend systems are so old, you have to still use them and make your application reliable. And then there are so many variables, high degree of the customization required. Then mobile means different geographies, different carriers that add to the magic. This is my favorite. There is no sex appeal in enterprise apps. There is no cool factor. If I go to my home, I tell my mom that, see, I am working in a company, I am making a kind of application, you can talk to my sister sitting in Canada anytime. She was like, cool, wow, that's the app you are making. If I say I am making the app, something for a guy working in a pharmaceutical company, going around and typing in something, or maybe an app, maybe an app like it gets an SMS, you accept it, it's profitable for the company, she will say, oh, so boring. So that's the basic reason why I think, people, this space for last 2 years is not seeing, people are moving around app stores, Twitter, Facebook, social networking, games, maps and presence, all these kind of things. So this basically, from a development point of view, small companies in Bangalore, that's why they don't target these kind of applications. This is what my personal feeling. I may be contradicting with some of you, but this is what my personal feeling. I have seen that people normally talk about all these things, but never talk about enterprise apps.
But it's also about, you can do a consumer-grade application, almost forget all about it. You upload it in an app store and you're done. An enterprise application is not like that. You need to go and sell it.
I will come to that point, yes. That is the one, But I will come to that. It is tough, but it also gives a good bit of revenues if you are able to sell. Okay, so where is the potential in enterprise app? Like someone of you rightly said, yes, there are many solutions, emailing solutions, there are many IP solutions, contacts, presence. You have tons of ads there in that segment. But what basically people need are tailor-made apps. Each enterprise, there are thousands of them there. They are always having a requirement for these kind of small apps which they can use. That is where we can do things in Bangalore, in India. Part of enterprise application. It's not that right now if I am facing a user application, I have to think like what in the morning there was a question, which platform to support. I have to think whether I have to target for India or I have to target Europe or US. But in enterprise application, I don't have to think that because it depends on corporates. So right now, in India, if you see, people are talking about Nokia phones because that's the common phone everyone has. Nokia, Sony phones coming around 4 to 7,000 range, which are mostly UIQ based, which are civilian Series 60 based, Series 40 based, these kind of phones. There is no talk on iPhone yet in India. There is not Blackberries. Yes, there is a talk. If you are going to a very big enterprise and they are okay giving Blackberry phones to their employees, yes, they talk about BlackBerry applications, but otherwise, the SMEs, these kind of people, they need applications on these kind of small 3,000 to 7,000 segment phones, which are mostly Nokia, Sony Ericsson, Samsung phones.
So, in terms of platform, is it more a Symbian platform or a Java platform you're talking about, which can address Symbian?
So it's basically, now it's again, it depends. So it depends on enterprises. If they are targeting phone on the base of their costs, then it is Java for sure. But if say, okay, I have my 120 guys who all have Nokia phones and they are all 360 phones, then I would preferably make a 360 application because it will be more powerful than a Java application.
Sell as a service and not an app. I have always found it difficult to sell as a service to a bigger enterprise. And bigger enterprise will definitely want to keep the app as an IP, right?
Okay.
Why do you say like sell as a service?
Okay. So I think I had a different experience. So it was like even in the US market, they prefer more of selling as a service. In India market, yeah, they prefer that, okay, you sell. In India, really, there is no resource, there is no limitation of the resources and stuff like that. They say, okay, you build an enterprise application, give it to me in a cheap price, I take care of all AMC, all support, I will take care of that. In India, it happens this way. If I'm talking to companies in India, maybe let's say, example, I talk to Airtel, Vodafone, Idea, they are always targeting, give me an app. I don't want any revenue sharing, I don't want any SAS model. Give me an app, I'll do, just give me a working app, I'll make sure it works for next 10 years. But yeah, US is different. It's mostly...
It depends bit also on the, what is the buyer's view of the seller.
Yes.
So if the buyer views the seller as a credible large company who's going to be around for 10 years, willing to support it, then I think they are more willing to accept it as a service. But as a smaller company, selling into a larger company,
Yes.
without an established track record, it becomes all the more harder to sell.
That's true. So I am coming from a small company for last 5 years, so that's exactly, so my viewpoint was, yes, it is difficult, but yeah, if you are able to sell as a service, it's always beneficial in long term, maybe not in short term, but yes, long term. But yeah, small companies, it's very difficult to sell something.
There is one more point. Like most of these applications I have seen, they are sold as software as a service. And what happens, right? The entry point for the small SMEs, right, becomes lower because they pay on per user per month basis. So in that case, the entry point becomes smaller. And even you see, if you have to make any modification changes later on, so that becomes part of it.
And actually for the larger companies also, because most of them actually prefer to outsource something that's mundane and redundant as this. It makes more sense for them to have something on an engagement model rather than somebody who can give you the platform as well as service you is a great guy who can outsource.
Which is true, provided let's say you are a large company, you are HLS, and let's say I am also someone of equal standing. They will prefer to do it. If I'm a startup 5-man shop, they are definitely not going to do it.
This is one thing I've observed. Okay, in terms of consulting, this one thing I've observed. It's not about whether you're big in terms of your brand name or whatever, but if you can justify that I am not one person, I am 15 people at the back end, which you can always expand to if you're getting the business. So if you are 15 people out there, then there is more credibility to your organization because he says, it's not like, run by one person who's probably not going to be, servicing me for long. And one, ideology that works with most big companies is it's a build, operate, transfer model. You never tell them when it's transferred, but you just tell them it's build, operate, transfer. So that basically helps, them understand.
The small companies, they don't have a direct because, you see, I'm a small company and because the entry point is small, right? So I can trust you. And if you are failed to deliver, I can always remove you because I have not invested a lot, I'm not investing a lot of money.
I mean, it's not a question of investing in your company, it's a question of investing in my processes. If I'm a company who has rolled out your software, your application to 10,000 of my employees, right? The cost of rolling back and replacing with another vendor solution, retraining, managing the logistics, that's a huge challenge. It's a Herculean task, which is the reason I think you are having an exception in trying to sell with just 15 people behind you. It's an extremely difficult sale to make for a small company to sell into a large company, especially with the service. So I would rather agree with Gurpreet saying that in these cases it's easier to sell as an app. They say that okay, you sell me an app. You train my folks how to manage the whole infrastructure. Tomorrow, if need be, I'll have it replaced. So In that case, you have one-time sale.
The build option transfer is what I understand.
Okay, then we are in agreement.
I think you were already in agreement. So what you were saying, he was also saying the same one in the different words.
Okay.
One last question from my side.
Yes.
I think can you just go back to the slide on somewhere you mentioned about distribution, right? So when I'm talking to customers, I have felt like all the enterprises are very much not in agreement on this process. Like how will you do the deployment and distribution? When I have my field engineers roaming around everywhere, and they have Macromax kind of a mobile and Samsung 200 kind of a mobile, and I want to distribute my app to all these guys.
That is exactly.
No, what is your experience? I mean, you have talked to a lot of people.
Yes, that is exactly the challenge we got. Okay, so we started with one platform. We were made to port it across to 7 different platforms. But yeah, if there is a low-end mobile, basically politely ask, please replace it. so it's like, yeah, if they have something around 80% people having that low-end mobile, you are nowhere. You can't help because in mobile it's a problem with creating applications. Have your own mobile. Thanks.
Off with a tough definition of enterprise mobility, and then he gave his own definition. He spoke about the various platforms, the various challenges, he spoke about the case studies, and he got all of us involved into this talk. So this great man, Gurpreet, did a wonderful job. So big hand for Gurpreet. It's not that enterprise mobility has just come as of now. Since ages, right? I mean, I just call up my grocery guy and he used to do everything. So we had enterprise on the mobile. It's just that time is changing and the face of mobility is changing. So I bet on enterprise mobility, and of course, Gurpreet too.
You're from IBM.
Yeah, IBM, yes. IBM bets on enterprise mobility. I reveal a secret. Yeah, thank you very much, Gurpreet, for the fantastic talk. And your... So can we have you guys joining hands?